Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nancy. If you're seeing my face for the first time and if you're not, you guys are the real OGs. Thank you for still being here, even though I kind of sort of abandoned, the channel. Well, you're still here, so thank you for still being here. Fantastic. So today's video is just going to be, I want to say there are points or tips you can use, but then I will let you guys be the judge of that, okay? I'm going to be looking down. I wrote a couple of points and then I'll be talking, okay? So today's video is just basically about surviving Tbilisi, and we're going to get into that. If you end up liking the video, you guys already know what to do. I think at this point we are past like, share, subscribe. So please like, share, subscribe. Yeah. One of the first things I'm actually going to mention here is you're going to end up being a DIY person. You're actually going to end up doing a lot of things with your hands yourself. I'm speaking based on personal experience. A lot of the things I can't even say because I'm just like, even myself, I'm like, sometimes you don't even know you can do half of these things until you're pushed to the wall. And not pushed to the wall in a difficult sense, or maybe, but the difficult I'm trying to say is you're sacrificing something for another thing. But yeah, a lot of the things I've had to like DIY myself. I'm just like, you know what? Instead of me paying this amount of money, let me try and figure it out myself. And somehow, in some ways, it ends up working out for me. And thankfully, anything I try and it's whack, best believe someone else will just have to come and do it. So you're going to end up, I think it's also the thing of being abroad. You see that a lot. A lot of people tend to DIY their things because, like, you see people designing their bathrooms themselves. In my mind, I'm thinking, I cannot possibly imagine myself doing that. But I feel like if I was in that situation and I've weighed out my, the cost of me doing it myself and the cost of me outsourcing it to someone else, then I think, you would weigh that out and be like, you know what, there's no harm in trying. If I mess up, I'll just take it out and someone will just do it themselves. So it's kind of that situation, at least for me, If that has been you as well, please let us know in the comments so we can know if we're twins. Another thing that I feel like, you kind of just comes with, at least for me, it's the food part. For me, I tend to cook a lot. I cook in bulk, and for me that's sustainable, it's practical, it saves me a lot of time. Because if you don't know and you're seeing my face for the first time, I'm in school, medical school, so my time is very important. I remember I was just telling a couple of my friends, like, 24 hours right now doesn't seem like enough anymore for me. And it's insane because I would think this is the time right now where I would have more time, but that's not really the case. I'm having to wake up earlier. Some days I'm just like, screw this, I'm not waking up early. I want to actually try and sleep in. So how I try to manage my time is actually cooking a lot more. Like, I cook, like, let me just give an example. For pasta, I cook like a pack and a half. I haven't gotten to 2 packs yet just because I do not have enough containers. I'm sure if I had enough containers, I would be cooking 2 packs. Cooking like 4 cups of rice. Before, I wasn't cooking that much, but I realized that, me coming back, that extra 2 hours plus I'm using to cook, it's taking away from my time to study. And if that takes away from my time to study, at this point, I'm just like, I know myself. If I'm not well rested, if I don't sleep well, I'm very grumpy. My head is all over the place. So I'm just like, once it gets to the time for me to sleep, baby, I'm going to sleep. at this point. Before I was literally working on films at one point, like 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep, but like, I'm like, that's not practical for someone like me, that, it's important for me to sleep compared to eat. I would take sleep because, yeah, it affects your productivity throughout the day. So me, I'm just like, for food, I tend to cook a lot. Obviously, there are certain things you can't cook a lot, but for the things that I can cook a lot, like rice, spaghetti, those things, I would cook them. And for things like vegetables, I try to limit it to the weekend. If I don't get it done over the weekend, I'm not having it throughout the week. So if I want to make like Nigerian salad, I make that over the weekend, and I make enough to carry me till maybe Wednesday. Because after that time, it might not be good anymore. So for me, bulk cooking is essential because my time is important. I'm factoring in the fact that you have to go to class, you have to go to school, you have to come back, you gotta study, like, maybe all of that. I don't know about you guys. How do you cope? Like, maybe I'm not getting it right. You guys should let me know how you're able to tie in feeding yourself, especially if you cook your meals yourself, feeding yourself, and if you're in school here, how you study and join that together. Because I don't know, my hands up shit a lot sometimes because my classes will be ending really late sometimes. I'm getting home at like 7:30 and I need to study the material from that day, bro. There was a day like I came home, I literally just took off my jeans. I also wearing the top I wore in. I just put my food in the microwave and I opened my laptop and I was studying and eating. Like at the same time, like I didn't even unpack anything just because that particular day, it was important that I got that out of the way. If not, I would just have accumulated stuff to study. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, like cooking a lot is saving my life. The whole concept of like, even me, I think in some of my videos, I've even said this, like, oh, Georgia is cheap. Tbilisi is cheap. Like, baby, that does not hold water anymore. Maybe I'm not loud. That does not hold water anymore. Like, but for real, jokes aside, I don't feel like here is like one of the cheapest places anymore. If you share in that, please. If you feel the same way, please let me know. Like, I want to be sure that I'm not the only person thinking this. Because one, house rent, God will judge these people is all I'm gonna say. God will judge them because their matter is in heaven. Honestly, let's not even go into the rent part because that is psychotic. That is crazy. Then it's just like very little things, living expenses, grocery, my goodness. So like I went grocery shopping, then I saw the things I bought and I was looking, I'm like, did I forget something at the store? Because this is not really aligning, But yeah, like things are not that cheap. So it's like having to continuously count your costs and, certain things that you would do before, like, okay, I'm going to a restaurant. Now I got to think before I go to a restaurant. Like I have to plan it out properly. Nah. Surviving, use your money to cook food. Use your money to cook food inside your house, okay? Save yourself the stress because outside, we all know outside is expensive. So why are we trying to kill ourselves? Just stay in your house. Stay in your house. No, but for real, like things are quite pricey right now. And it's crazy because like the lari is like getting there with the dollar, like it's dropping. So it's like, can we see it in other items, please? So yeah, I would say I don't want certain things. One thing I have to say, like, depending on the type of places you go to eat, surely like outside food is actually not expensive. Let me not even lie. But I feel like besides, it's just not, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Not just food, just like very little things. Once you go out, you spend money on them. You're just thinking, oh, what is the value of this thing? Is it the same? Is it worth it? Sorry, is it worth it? So yeah, it's just like little things make the difference. And so when you put those little things together and you're looking at the entire cost, you're just like, there's no way. So yeah, but outside, eating out, depending on the type of places you go, obviously, I don't think it's expensive. Eating out is not so expensive, to be honest. Especially if you love like Asian cuisine, which I do. I do love Asian cuisine. So we love that over here. So yeah. And also I'm just going to talk a little bit about like the studying aspect of being here. Um, especially if you're someone that cares about your grades. The studying takes away so much of your time. I said earlier that 24 hours does not feel enough anymore to me because I'm having to really sleep early, really wake up early just so I can get so much done. And I know I'm a more night person, but being a night person and not being well rested, it just doesn't work together, especially for me. I can't cope during the day. Like I had days that my eyes were dry. I'm not talking because of the weather. It had absolutely nothing to do with the weather. Lack of sleep. I was working on fumes. I was just like, I have such an, I've struggled with my sleep. And I think in a vlog, I kind of spoke about it a bit, but I feel like it's more of my planning throughout the day. And so I really have taken a step back to like plan my days and like, you know what, one is time for sleep. I don't care what I haven't finished. Baby, I'm going to sleep. It happened a few times, I think 3 or 4 times. I was just like, this cannot continue. My eyes were dry because of lack of sleep. I slept for like 3 hours. Rah, bro. If you want to survive properly here, especially if you're a medical student, I don't know for other students how they get to cope. I'm sure they probably have less stress compared to us. So, I would advise you plan your day. Like my day is literally itemized. Anything that will come in between that particular day schedule, I'm forgetting about it. Like, if I said I'm going to this place, and I have to factor in that movement, anything outside of that, it's a sacrifice I have to weigh out. And I think, okay, what will I have to remove for this thing to come in? And I have to think about that properly. If I don't think about it properly, it's not happening, because working on fumes, I don't want it again. So yeah, if you care about your grades, I would advise that you think about it properly. You plan your day, especially your sleep, because that is so important. Not about you, but for me, it's important. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the whole sleep thing and, studying and, obviously it's med school. You do a lot of that. You do a lot of reading, you do a lot of planning, you do a lot of studying, because there's only a certain, amount of thing you can be of knowledge that can be passed down in class. I feel like 30% happens in class, or even 40%. The remaining 60% is on you. But yeah, I've kind of figured it out now. Maybe in the future I could do my study plan, or how I study, or how I manage my days. But yeah, if you'd like to see that, just stick around. I would plan a video and plan when to film that type of video, because moving a tripod early in the morning at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 or 8 or whatever time I wake up is not ideal. So mentally, I need to be prepared for that. But yeah, if you ended up enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in another video.